So work together 13.4 is usually the point that everyone goes, huh? It's a little bit confusing. So what we're doing in 13.4 is we're physically going to pay things that we owe. So notice the heading of our directions, paying withholding and payroll taxes. It says cash payments journal is given below. Your instructor will guide you through the following example. We have payroll data for digital supplies for the monthly pay period ended March 31st of the current year. It says credit balances on March 31st for unemployment taxes accounts for the first quarter are as follows. Unemployment tax payable federal $511.75, state $3,454.34, and it says digital supplies pays both unemployment taxes each quarter. So basically, depending on the size of your business, it will determine how often you have to pay those payroll taxes. And this is going to be one of the things that you're going to get from reading in the book. It talks about what you have to do for paying them. So we filled out your Form 941 in Section 13.3. Two amounts determine how often deposits are made to the federal government. The first one is the amount of the payroll taxes collected during the payroll deposit period. And number two, the amount of payroll taxes owed during the prior 12-month period. The 12-month period that ends on June 30th of the prior year is called the look-back period. So that is going to be one of our vocabulary terms. The IRS provides businesses with a flow chart to assist them with determining when they make tax deposits. And you can guarantee they're going to have questions relating to that information. And that flow chart can be found in your book on page 383. Okay? So it does tell us on page 383, if you are a semi-weekly scheduled depositor, you must deposit taxes from paydays on the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday by the following Wednesday. So if you make payments on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you have to pay your payroll taxes on the following Wednesday. If you make payment on Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, and Tuesday, then you make a payment by Friday. So depending on when your pay period is would determine. So when we read here, Digital Supply does not pay semi-weekly though. How often are they paying? Okay. Quarterly? Okay, or monthly? So when we take a look at our monthly scheduled depositor on page 83, it says deposit taxes for the month by the 15th of the following month. So when we're looking at our taxes, we know that we have to pay them by the 15th of the following month. And that's going to be one of the things we'll notice right here when they tell us to do this. They are not giving us any date for payment because we have to just know based on when their taxes are due when it needs to be filled out. Okay, so the first one that we have to do is we are going to need to go through and prepare a journal entry for the payment of withheld taxes. Digital Supplies is the monthly scheduled depositor, or we're going to journalize with check 383 on the cash payments journal. Page 14, use the date the taxes are due to the federal government. Okay, so it did tell us as of March 31st things that were withheld. So when are these taxes going to be due? Can it be in March? No, because they're a monthly scheduled depositor. So when are they going to make a payment? What month? April. And when are they due by, based on what I just said before? 15th. Okay. So we are going to be paying the federal government. We are going to pay our employee income tax payable. We're going to pay our Social Security. And we're going to pay our Medicare. We're going to pay all of those with one check. So I'm going to go ahead and put those account titles in that order. Employee income tax payable, Social Security tax payable, and Medicare tax payable. Notice they do not give me the amount that we owe in Social Security and Medicare totals. Okay. We have a column there. It says federal income tax withheld. What does that relate to what account? Federal income tax withheld. You already wrote in 3 accounts. It has to be one of those. Employee income tax. So, by writing out this check, do we owe more or less to this accounts payable? Less. So your liability would then need to be debited. Would you agree? Because we are paying the government the money that we withheld from our employees for their federal income tax. So we are going to, bless you, debit employee income tax payable for $1,386. They did tell us we're paying this with check number 383, so I'll fill that in. Now, the next thing that I have on here, if you filled in numbers for the rest of them, they're wrong. Notice the word I have highlighted.
Employee.
Okay. Remember I started the hour and I said there are 4 taxes an employer pays. What are those 4 taxes? I really would like a response. What are our 4 taxes?
I don't know.
Okay. You need to know that. Okay. If you can't answer that question, that means you are not prepared. Because that is something I taught you last week and you've already completed assignments on. So you need to know those 4 taxes. 2 of those taxes we're paying right now. And 2 of those taxes are Social Security and Medicare. Notice the heading, and I specifically have it highlighted, is it says this is what the employees paid. Remember what I said before? If you have $50 taken out of your paycheck for Social Security, how much does an employer have to pay? $50. So right now, should I only pay $1,322.05? That is only the employee's portion. If I'm writing a check for the government, the check is not going. The government doesn't want 1 check for the employee portion and 1 check for the employers. They just want it all taken care of. Would you agree? So what we're going to do right here is we're going to go ahead and we're going to take that employee portion and then add the employer portion, and then I'm going to pay both of those.
Is it always the same?
The employee and the employer portion is always the same. It's a matching tax. Now, I will say in the future, you're going to have an assignment where you are going to have to know what to pay for Social Security and Medicare, and you're going to know that by physically looking at the ledger account. So if you looked at the account, Social Security tax, and there was $2,785 that you owed, that would be how much you would pay. But we don't have a ledger in this example. They gave us from the payroll register how much these taxes are. So I'm going to take that $1,322.05 and add it together, and then I am going to get $2,644.10. Does everyone see how I got that number? I'm going to do the same thing for Medicare. $3.09 $309.25 plus $309.25 gives me $618.50. What other number am I missing? Because I'm not done yet. Cash. Because I have 3 debits and I don't have a credit. So I need to add up my debits. I got $4,648.60. Can anyone confirm my math? Kelly got that one? I always go through and add it up twice because it is really easy just to go through and plug something into the calculator incorrect and then your whole debits and credits would not come out. And it doesn't take that much time for you to add up a number twice. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to do instruction number 2. Prepare journal entries for the payment of federal and state unemployment tax liability. It says, assume both checks were prepared on the due date for federal tax deposit. Okay, so the next thing that we are paying is our federal unemployment tax and our state unemployment tax. So on page 386 in the book, it explains how you know when that is due, because notice in the directions it doesn't give you the date. Okay? Federal unemployment insurance is paid by the end of the month following each quarter. So when we take a look at our months in a quarter, we have January, February, March. So it tells us federal unemployment is due by the end of the month following each quarter. So March is the last day in the quarter, so it is due on the last day of the following month. So that's going to be April. And how many days are there in April? 30. Okay. Now we have to write 2 separate checks out, because one is for federal unemployment and one is for state. We can't write one check out for it because one has to go to Madison in our example and the other one would have to go to Washington, D.C. Does that make sense why you have to write out 2 checks? Okay, but they don't give us an amount. Oh, they do give us an amount for this one, sorry. In the paragraph right here, it tells us that the current unemployment tax federal is $511.75 and state is $3,454.34. So I'm going to go through and do my federal unemployment tax first, because that's what they gave us. Unemployment tax payable federal with check number 401 is going to be made out for $511.75, and that is just how much cash is going to be affected. My next transaction is going to be unemployment tax payable state, and that's going to be check number 402. And when I look at the paragraph, it does tell me that unemployment tax payable for state is $3,454.34. So you are going to have a general debit and a cash credit. So basically, we are just lowering the amount that we have to pay, or that we owe the government for our taxes. Now, I will say, this assignment usually confuses people, because when we had to go through and calculate how much we owe for employee Social Security and Medicare, you usually get stuck in your head that I have to double something. But remember, it's not doubling. You have to think of those 4 taxes the employer pays, or the 4 taxes the employer pays, that 2 of them match the employee. So that's why we're doing that. We're taking the employee and the employer. Don't think of doubling. I always think of those 4. Go ahead and try the on your own without clicking on show answer to see if you can get it right.